Hello everybody, I'm TychoCelchuuu and you're listening to a Men of War shoutcast. This is another 2v2 me and lollybo. This is the train map again. Get used to it, it's a nice map. It's got multicolored train cars. What more could you want from a World War II game? So we're Germans and I think we're fighting the British. On this map we will find out soon enough. If I pass out halfway through the shoutcast, it is because I just gave blood and I always almost pass out when I give blood, because I weigh 125 pounds and I'm 6 feet tall. Are we fighting Japan? No. We can't be fighting Japan. I mean, theoretically you could have Japan versus Germany, but no one really does that. I think Russia versus Germany is one of the most common matchups. So I'm laying some sandbags off right off the bat. That's another reason I like buying a rifleman, because they get sandbags, whereas the popular choice submachine gunners do not get sandbags. Oh, we're being fired at. That looks like a Russian tank, but it's hard for me to tell. Kinda blurry. We'll find out. GAZ just killed lollybo's stuff on the right. I don't even know what that is. Is it a Mosin? I think a Mosin just shot one of his people. Okay, so I think we're fighting Russians. Germany versus Russia. There you go. That's one of my favorite matchups. It's a good one. It's a popular one. The Russians like playing it. And so you see I'm securing both the left and the middle. I was shot at by some sort of vehicle on the left, or on the right. Sorry. I'm securing the right and the middle. I was shot at by whatever on the right, so I made my people go prone behind those sandbags, and that's another, I mean, those sandbags are really helping out. They're keeping me alive, but what's not keeping me alive is my people in the middle getting flanked by these riflemen from the enemies. I'm not so happy about that, so now that I've capped the middle, I'm pulling one of my riflemen out, and the other guy will stay there because he's got some good cover. He's not liable to be flanked, but my ally, not doing so hot, has lost his point on the left, but that's alright. He's probably fighting someone who's better than the guy I'm fighting. You saw I also bought a rocket launcher, dude, pretty much right off the bat. My typical open is a rifleman plus rocket launcher, because riflemen I use to secure the points instead of defenses, and rocket launcher I can kill some light tanks if they get too close, or I can if I don't end up using the rocket launcher sooner, I can use it later when a tank shows up, because the rocket launcher never gets obsolete. And I'm typing brave or foolish to my ally who has he drove his light tank, his Panzer II Luxwagen, into a smoke grenade, and smoke grenades well, then he got set on fire. What happened was a flamethrower flamed him, and that got the engine exploded. That's the end of that Panzer II Lux. But yeah, driving into a smoke grenade is scary stuff, because you know someone tossed that smoke grenade and they could be hiding in it. They block your sight. You don't know who's in that smoke. So if you drive in with a vehicle, you could eat an AT grenade or something. Look at all that carnage already. There's lots of action going on over here, so it's a good thing I'm watching it, because if I wasn't, the video would not show any of the action. Ooh, look, I'm doing camera angles. I must have been really smart back then. So there's a Jeep. Now I'm ignoring the Jeep because someone's trying to kill my people. It looks like all my guys got wiped out by a ZIS-2. That is the Russian AT gun, the heavier AT gun. And I don't really mind. He's got ZIS-2. That shot my people rather badly. But the real big problem with those things is they take out vehicles, and I don't really care because I don't have any vehicles. He put a rifleman in the tram, and you see I clicked on the rifleman. You can shoot which part, or you can choose which part of a vehicle to shoot at with like an AT gun or something. That's for taking out the treads. But you can also do it with your rifleman if you want to shoot just at the tram dude driving the tram, or it's especially useful for Jeeps. If for some reason you have very good micro and you see a Jeep coming at you, target the gunner on the Jeep. You'll shoot the gunner off, and the Jeep will be down. I mean, you can also shoot the driver if you want, but I don't know. Now we see the Panzer Lux firing. The Panzer Lux is a very light tank, and it's got a nice little, maybe it's a 20mm cannon on it. I don't know what it is, but it shoots pretty fast. It tears up infantry rather well, and there's a tank crewman trying to shoot that little flame dude. Epic fail, man. Epic fail, tank man. Yes. Yes, indeed. And he burns to death, which is liable to happen in these games. Burn you once, shame on him. I'm not going to read what I type. If you want to try and read what I type, you're welcome to, but the compression is probably too bad. So I bought a submachine gun infantry. Typically, once the game starts, I will buy riflemen sometimes, but then I start moving up to submachine guns just because they're better at fighting, and I've got enough sandbags often. But no, I keep buying riflemen too. They're both good. I think I bought submachine guns in this case because I'm going to the center of the map, and that's closer in fighting. What is that? That is a T-34, so that's the end of the Panzer II Lukes. The most the Lukes can hope for is to take out a Trek, and even then, you have to be really, really lucky to take out a Tread. He knows he's dead, so he runs into suicides. He might have been able to get out of there. One of my guys tossing a grenade of his own accord, he manages to kill someone. My ally probably could have gotten the Panzer II Lukes out of there, but it was a small chance of getting out, so he figured I'd rather take the small suicide chance than the small escape chance, and that did not work. So I've lost the right, although I have taken the middle, keeping care to keep one of my men in the middle to actually cap the flag while I spread the rest out, and get ready. You should always spread your men out. I know GameReplays.org, one of their tips was spreading your infantry out. So I'm tossing a grenade right now. I think the AT gun will probably be gone by the time it explodes, but you know, it was worth a try, I guess. Actually hit a man, so there you go. It was worth it. Maybe not worth it. I sort of revealed myself, but I'm behind a wall, so it's not a big deal. And actually the good thing is that once I kill one man, the AT gun can't move at all, so it's stuck there. Unfortunately, something bad happened to my men. I don't know quite what that was. Maybe they got grenaded. Wasn't watching too closely, so here's a Puma. I buy a Puma because normally you don't want to buy it like a Puma, a light vehicle with a nice little cannon, if you're facing an AT gun as your primary opponent, because the Puma's just going to get shot and die. But since he's only got one dude, he can't move the AT gun. He might be able to swivel it, but I think right now I realize he might be able to swivel it, so I load HE shells. And yes, it turns out he did swivel it, and now my Puma's dead. So there's a lesson for you. 2 men needed to move the AT gun, but only 1 man needed to swivel it around and kill, or he recruit it. And I say, I wanted that Puma alive, because I did. I really wanted that Puma. I'm more of a big fan of the Germans, their vehicles, their tanks, their light vehicles, than I am of any other faction. Although I like the Russians too, but the Puma is a really nice thing. It's got a nice gun on the Puma gun, equivalent to some other gun. It's certainly got an outsized gun for what it is, and the Puma is very fast and maneuverable. It's got a hull machine gun to shoot some people. It's just a really nice thing. Of course, its armor's not fantastic. It's alright, especially for a light vehicle, but it's not fantastic, so your Puma's probably going to die if it gets shot by an AT gun, but you know, you try and keep it alive. It's a light vehicle. You can go run around and stuff, and try not to get hit, go for flanks and stuff. You can even take out tanks with the Puma is another good thing, because its gun is just so fantastic that you can, if you circle around behind an enemy tank, or even from the side, you can typically punch through their armor, especially if you aim for the engine. And of course you can punch through enemy light vehicles. That's one of the things that Puma's very good at. So you see his infantry are charging my mortar. I took the mortar crewman out of the mortar too late. In fact, he wasn't able to defend himself. But if you ever see infantry charging your mortar, click on the mortar and get the people off of it, because they'll get off the mortar and start shooting with their guns, and that's far more effective than just bunkering down and hoping the mortar magically repels the attack. It can't repel firepower of that magnitude. He's got some AT gun something shelling my cover, so these walls are very quickly falling, and I have to find places for my infantry. Instead, I throw a smoke grenade. Ka-foomp. And that will give me, hopefully, some cover to move from that wall behind the house, is, I think, my plan. I don't know, they were smart enough to hide behind the hedge when their wall disappeared. And now I'm really angry because my mortar died almost as soon as it came out too. So I've lost a Puma and a mortar now to pretty much nothing very sufficient, and I'm not feeling happy because I still have plenty of infantry. But what I really wanted are my Puma and my mortar, because those were what I was going to use to win the fight. And he's just killing everything. So doing pretty well there. There's a squad of infantry. I'm trying to check grenades at him, see how well it works. It's probably not his best idea standing out there in the open firing at me. I am standing out in the open firing at him, but that's different because I'm me.